You won't believe what just happened to Bahati Kenya, because a woman has suddenly appeared on the internet breaking down in tears and tearfully declaring,
kama Mungu kweli Bahati ni mtoto wangu, nasema Mungu anirudishia.
I am your mother, I am not dead. And listen,
Bahati, mimi niko nakuja mbele yako kukuomba msamaha.
This is where everything gets even more crazy. The lady claims that she was denied access to Bahati at a young age because she was very poor.
Pika makoti nikaomba nikasema Mungu, mbona mtoto lakini roho inanisumbua tu, mtoto ni wangu. Na sasa nimpeleka mdogo, siwezi nikamkumbuka.
And she was forced to leave Bahati in a children's home. And now the lady is begging Bahati and the Bahati's family for a DNA test to prove that she is not lying. But that is not even the shocking part. Wait until you hear what people are saying after spotting striking similarities between this woman and Bahati's kids, with some commenters even saying ukweli anafanana na watoto wa Baha.
Na si hata kupenda kwa watu pia wakwambia, kwa sababu mimi sana nikakupeleka kitu nyingi. Kwa sababu nilikupeleka kitu nyingi sikuwa na uwezo. Na nikaangalia yenyewe nikienda ukaa nawe na sina vile maisha naweza kaa, naweza nikakupoteza na nitakuwa nikipoteza labda kitu nyingi.
The entire nation is in panic mode. Fans are confused, critics are furious, and Bahati is very silent. Is this the truth that was hidden for years, or is this one of the biggest emotional traps of 2025? Stay right here, because what happens next is going to leave you absolutely speechless.
Na mpango ya Mungu wesichwa. Mungu alikuwa amekupangia maisha yako mazuri. Sasa unaona ungepoteza hiyo maisha tungekupata tena. Kwanza nikakupeleka huko leo na ninakuomba msamaha. Nisamehe na ukuje mtafute.
Right now, at this very moment, Bahati Kenya and the family is facing one of the most heartbreaking confusion of their entire life. For over 2 decades now, the musician we have all come to love has lived with one truth, one painful one, unchangeable reality. His mother died when he was just 7 years old in their home in Mathare. Bahati has built his entire identity around this tragedy. He has written songs about it. He has cried about it on camera. He has shared the devastating details of how she passed away in their house, waiting hours before they could even get her to a mortuary. But now, everything he believed in is being questioned. The woman has come forward with a claim so shocking, so absolutely earth-shattering, that it has left Bahati himself saying, I don't know whether to cry or laugh. She says that she is his biological mother. She says she never died, and she says that she has been watching him on television for all these years, crying and unable to reach him, and she is ready to prove it with a DNA test.
Mimi kwa ready kuomba msamaha, hata kama ni wapi tiene kile kitu tufanye na nitiwe kweli wewe mtoto wangu. Kwa sababu nilikuona hata kwa TV. Mimi nasema tu kwa kitu kwa yangu nafikiria mimi mtoto wangu. Inanishindia kinisumbua, yani kila siku hii kitu inanisumbua hata nashinda. Nitakupata aje? Sina uwezo wenye nitakwenda nikutafute, nimeshinda vile nitakutafuta.
The Kenyan internet is on fire right now. Social media has been divided. Some people are noticing the resemblance between this woman and Bahati's own children, while others are warning him about scammers. But one thing is certain, nothing will ever be the same again. Now, before we even dive into this explosive revelation, you need to understand just how deeply this story cuts, because for Bahati, his mother's death isn't just a sad memory, it is the foundation of everything he has become. Kevin Mbuvi Kioko, the man who was known as Bahati, was born in December 1994 in Machakos County, Kenya. His childhood was marked by poverty, struggle, and ultimately tragedy. When Bahati was barely 7 years old, his world collapsed. His mother, Lucy Mweni, fell ill, but here is where the story gets truly heartbreaking. Mathare slums, where his family had lived, had inadequate health facilities. There was only one decent hospital, and the queues were so long that patients would wait for hours before being seen. In an emotional interview with his wife Diana Marwa, Bahati recounted the most painful day of his life. It was Christmas Day. He was about to start class 1. His mother passed away right there in their home around midday, and because of the lack of proper facilities and transportation, her body remained in their house for several hours, wrapped in a blanket before they could finally afford a taxi to take her to the mortuary. Can you imagine this? A 6 or 7-year-old child on Christmas Day watching this unfold. After his mother's death, Bahati's father remarried within months. Young Bahati found himself abandoned, unwanted and alone. He ended up on the streets, eventually finding refuge at ABC Children's Home in the Madare slums. And this wasn't just any ordinary orphanage. This became Bahati's entire world. A woman from Iceland named Torun found him in the slums and took him under her wing. She became his foster mother, schooled him and even sacrificed her own life in Iceland to stay in Kenya and help other street children.
Hey, manze.
Bahati has always been open about his orphan story. It is not hidden, it is not a secret. In fact, it is his brand. He is known as Mtoto wa Mama, a mother's child, and his breakthrough song, Mama, was written about his deceased mother and catapulted him to fame in 2013. The song resonated with millions of Kenyans of its raw emotion and authenticity, and his entire identity, his music career and his political ambitions to improve Madare. Everything has been built on this entire narrative. Orphan boy who lost his mother at just 7 years old and rose from nothing to become one of Kenya's biggest stars. So when someone says she's your mother and that she's alive, that is not just shocking news, that is identity shattering information.
Wakati ule ulifika kwenda kujifungua, nilitoka tu nikaambia Mungu nisaidie, sikujua hata kwenye naenda.
Now, here is where this story takes its first dramatic turn. This is not actually the first time someone has claimed that she is Bahati's mother or that Bahati's mother is alive. Back in June of 2024, just earlier last year, Bahati received a direct message that left him completely stunned. The message came from a woman named Mildred, and what she said stopped Bahati in his tracks. Mildred introduced herself as Bahati's stepsister. She claimed that Bahati's biological mother was not dead and that she was alive. And then she became emotional every time she sees him on television. The message written in Swahili said, "Hi, my name is Mildred, and I am sorry to tell you that your mother is still alive, and I am your sister. Whenever she sees you on TV, she sheds tears." Bahati was so shocked that he shared a screenshot of the message on his social media with the caption, "I don't know whether to cry or laugh. So apparently, someone has sent me a DM saying that my mom is alive." Mildred even provided contact information, urging Bahati to reach out and hear the full story directly from his supposed mother. And now the plot thickens even more. A viral video has been circulating across Kenyan social media platforms. In this video, a woman makes a bold, heartbreaking claim. She is Bahati Kenya's biological mother. But here is what makes this different from the June message. Here is what's making this go absolutely nuclear online. This woman is being specific, she's being emotional, and she's explaining why she could not be there for her son. According to reports flooding social media, the woman in the video claims that she was forced to take Bahati to a children's home because of one simple devastating reason: poverty. She says that she was denied access to him over the years because she was poor. She couldn't provide for him and she couldn't meet the standards. She couldn't be the mother she desperately wanted to be. And now she wants to prove it. She has agreed to go for a DNA test. The video has been captioned with words that have sent shockwaves through the Kenya's entertainment industry. "I am your mother. I am not dead." Think about the weight of those words. I am not dead. Imagine hearing when you have mourned someone for over 20 years, when you have visited what you thought was their memory, and when you have built your entire public persona around their absence. Social media has erupted into complete chaos. Comment sections are overflowing, and people are analyzing the video frame by frame. And here is where it gets even more interesting. Multiple comments are pointing out physical similarities. They are saying that they can see resemblances between this woman and Bahati's own children. One comment said, "I can see it in the eyes. Look at Mweni." Another one wrote, "The facial structure is similar to Heaven and Majesty." Others are being more cautious. This could be a scam. People know that Bahati has money now, but the woman isn't backing down. She's making it clear. "Test me, let's do a DNA, and you will see that I am not lying. I am your mother." But wait, before we jump to conclusions, we need to examine Bahati's documented history because there are facts here that make this situation incredibly complex. Bahati has been extensively interviewed about his past. He shared intimate, painful details about his mother's death. In an emotional conversation with his wife Diana on the reality show, he described exactly what happened. Bahati has repeated this story consistently over the years, and there are no contradictions in his narratives. He has never wavered, and he has never suggested that there was any mystery about what happened. At the orphanage, he was eventually fostered by Torun, the Icelandic woman who changed his life. She paid for his education. He attended Mercury Academy for primary school, then Nakil Boys High School in Rongai, and finally St. Teresa's Boys High School in Eastleigh. His music career started because of his mother's death. The song Mama was his breakthrough hit, and it was authentic, raw, and very emotional. This is where the story gets absolutely fascinating because Kenyans online are doing their own investigation and they're becoming amateur detectives, and the debate is fierce. First, the physical resemblances. People are pulling up photos of Bahati's children, especially his daughter Mweni with his ex-girlfriend Yvette Obura, and Heaven and Majesty with his wife Diana Marwa, and they're comparing facial features, eyes shapes, smiles, and bone structures with this woman in the video. Second, there is emotional authenticity. People who have watched the video say that the woman's pain seems genuine. Third, there is the poverty angle. Kenya has a heartbreaking history of families being separated due to extreme poverty. Critics are also asking, if this woman is truly his mother, where has she been for 20 years? Why didn't she reach out when Bahati first became famous in 2013 with Mama? Why wait until now to speak at the peak of his success? The woman claiming to be Bahati's mother says that she is willing to take a DNA test, and honestly, that is the only thing that matters here. DNA doesn't care about emotions, stories, or social media debates. DNA is a scientific fact. Since the latest viral video emerged, Bahati has remained completely silent. No Instagram post addressing it, no YouTube video, or no statement through Diana. Nothing. For a man whose entire life has been documented on social media and whose reality show literally chronicles his daily existence, this silence is deafening. Is he investigating privately? Is he protecting himself emotionally? Or is he consulting with family members who might have more information? Is he speaking with lawyers, or is he simply overwhelmed by the impossibility of the situation? Diana Marwa, his wife and partner in the content creation empire, has been quiet. Normally, Diana is very vocal about protecting her family. She addresses rumors head-on, but on this issue, she is just silent. The Kenyan public is watching, waiting and holding their breath because whatever Bahati decides to do next will have massive implications. If he takes the DNA test and it's negative, he'll need to address why these claims keep emerging. If he takes the DNA test and it is positive, his entire life story will need to be rewritten. Everything he has said, everything he sang, about everything he has built his identity on will be questioned. So where does this leave us now? Bahati Kenya, one of Kenya's most beloved entertainers, is facing the most confusing moments in his life. A woman claims to be the mother he has been mourning for 20 years. She is offering DNA proof, and the internet is divided, and Bahati himself is silent. Will he take the DNA test? Will the truth finally emerge? Or will this remain one of Kenya's greatest unsolved celebrity mysteries? One thing is certain, the world is watching, and whatever happens next will change everything. This is the developing story, and we'll keep you updated as more information becomes available. If you made it this far, hit that like button, subscribe for updates, and drop a comment with your thoughts. Do you think this woman is telling the truth? Should Bahati take the DNA test? Let us discuss. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and remember, sometimes the truth is stranger than fiction.